Are you a farmer or butcher ready to master direct-to-consumer marketing and meat success? Then you're in the right place. I'm Jared Aachen, the founder of ChopLocal. Each episode of this podcast features interviews with farmers and butchers who have built successful direct-to-consumer meat businesses, and they're going to share their secrets for success with you. From actionable tips to inspiring stories, this podcast has ingredients you will need to succeed in the meat business. After the show, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on social. And check out the rest of our educational resources at ChopLocalUniversity.com. Now, let's turn it over to my business partner, Katie, to get started.
Welcome back to another episode of the Meat Success Podcast. My name is Sierra Long, and I'm the marketing specialist here at ChopLocal. Our regular host, Katie Olthoff, handed the reins over to me this week because we are going to be covering one of my favorite subjects, which is social media. So we have a really special episode in store for you guys. We also have some really incredible guests. Noah and Michaela Schultz are joining us from Schultz Country Market, which is a farm-to-direct meat business in Illinois. And along with having a really successful meat business, they also have a really impressive social media following. And so I'm so excited to be able to visit and pick their brains today about that. So Noah and Michaela, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, the pleasure is definitely ours. So just to get started, can both of you introduce yourself, maybe tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started with Schultz Country Market and maybe what your role is in the business?
All right. I'm Nola Schultz. I am married to my husband, Brian Schultz, and we're the parents. We are the parents. Our son, Austin, he has farmed with us since he could walk. He and Michaela got married, and they farm with us as far as row crop and also with the livestock. And it's probably been about 5 years ago, we decided to start looking into the direct-to-consumer meat business. We've always sold shares, but we decided that it was time to maybe kick it up a notch and have a brick-and-mortar store, and that's how Schultz Country Market got started.
Yeah, we sell individual cuts in our market we still sell the shares, but we have beef and pork in our brick and mortar store, and we just started shipping in February of this year.
So I'm her mother-in-law.
I'm Michaela, by the way. I forgot to say my name. Yes. I'm Michaela. I am the daughter-in-law, and my husband we farm with them.
Yep. So they've been married 10 years?
We've been married 11 years. Ugh. So been in the family for a little over that, I guess.
Yes, and I've been married to the farmer for 35 years next year. So
that's so cool. I always love hearing about different family businesses, and it's always really exciting to hear about when the next generation decides to stay and farm, and then, in your case, be able to find a different revenue source through direct-to-consumer sales. And so you said you started selling beef directly 5 years ago. So that was like right after the pandemic.
Well, we started looking into it, started researching kind of what all the hoops and loops we were going to have to jump through to get something to be able to
sell the individual cuts, the retail cuts in the store.
We've always done quarters and halves and wholes beef, and then half whole hogs, just to neighbors and friends and family. But we decided to go ahead and do the individual cuts. And
very good. So talk to me a little bit about that process, because 5 years ago wasn't that long ago, and you have already built a very established business with a very established customer base. You have a very significant social media following. You have a storefront. You've grown a lot in 5 years. So kind of talk to me about that. I know that you said you were selling some shares beforehand, but maybe about starting the storefront, just the business side of things, maybe selling meat. How did those first few years look like for you guys, getting your feet off the ground?
Well, Brian and I have always wanted to diversify with the farm, and we just would think of an idea and then something else would come up, and then we started having kids, and it just kind of got pushed to the side. And then when Austin and Michaela got involved with the livestock part of it, we decided to sit down with them. And so really it took about 2 years of research. Michaela and I researched a lot of what the state of Illinois required, what, certificates, license, permits, and everything. I mean, from building on our farm to putting a sign along the highway.
Yeah,
Just
I mean-
exactly what it would need to be. And there's just a lot. Each
There
state,
is.
of course, is different. So it did. It took about 2 years, and then we finally opened up in September of 2023. And we literally just did retail.
Yes, so we just did individual cuts in the market, and from the very beginning, we just were like, okay, we're gonna take 3 beef and 5 hogs to the processor, and we're gonna bring it back to the market, and we're gonna put it in our
Yeah.
in our freezers. And we actually ended up getting our freezers off of Facebook Marketplace, of all things. Getting our freezers, we got those installed and up and running, and filled our freezers, and then opened a couple days later, and that's kind of been history since
Yeah.
then. But when she's talking about all the like legalities of everything, you don't realize like how much you actually have to research and do, from the health department to the Department of Ag to, like she said, the sign along the highway. That was a whole thing.
That
Like,
was a whole thing.
in Illinois, you have to have like a license for the sign that you're putting along
Yeah.
the highway. I don't know if that's anywhere else, but in Illinois it is. And so
Yes.
that was a lot of research, and Nola's really good at that. She's the research lady. We divide and conquer on our farm and
Right.
in our business. She's
Right.
really good at researching and finding all the information and bringing it to the table, and we have our little meetings. And I'm the techie one, where I'm
She
the
is.
one that sets up the point of sale system and does the website and changes things around and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of how we started, with just doing it,
The first year was
researching and
just-
asking questions.
Yeah, the first year was just, and it's still learning, but I mean,
Yeah.
it was just a huge learning curve, from pricing to what to carry, what not to carry. And then in the second year, in 24, was that when we got? No, 25.
Yeah.
We got our freezer trailer because
Yes.
we needed some extra storage space. And so then we went to some local farmers markets, and that really kind of,
brought a lot of local
yeah,
customers
kicked
to
us going. And then this year, again, we've been researching since we opened about shipping, but we weren't quite ready. But this year we started shipping in February of 2026.
That's so cool. And so I guess I didn't realize it was 2023 when you started your business. And so that has only been 3 years, which is even more impressive. And I think it's great for our followers to hear the amount of research you guys did, because like you said, there's just so many things that go into starting a business, especially a meat business. You have to be USDA inspected in most states. And then a lot of people probably wouldn't even realize that, you know, you would have to get different inspections to put a sign up on the side of the road. There's just so many crazy things that go into it. So you mentioned farmers markets. I'm kind of curious how that has kind of fit into your business and marketing plan. Do you guys still go to farmers markets? Did you just go for first few years to get customers? And then what is the kind of traffic between farmers markets versus your storefront?
We just go to one now.
Yeah,
Only one.
we bought our freezer trailer, and so when we say freezer trailer, it is a trailer that is a freezer that we can just
around.
we pull it up, hook it up to our expeditions, and we can pull it, which is
Yeah.
nice. I did not grow up on a farm, so pulling a big trailer is not in the cards for me. But we make it work. We pull our freezer trailer with our expeditions to just one local farmers market, and it's a very busy one. So
Yes.
we do really well every Saturday.
Yeah, we just
there.
go, it's just a county away from us, county south, and it's brought in people throughout the year then also after the farmers markets. And, you know, we both listened to a lot of podcasts. We've gotten a lot of emails from the farmer market and we built up our email list. And so, yeah, it's been nice. And now we're working on kind of try to get people to do some pre-ordering. And so far, every weekend we've had somebody pre-order. It's
even
slow.
if it's not 10 people, it's just a couple. Like
Yeah.
we still bring our trailer that has all
Right.
of our cuts in it, but we've been getting customers to pre-order our weekly bundle that we have. And so that's been helpful. And then I will say that I feel like that's driven traffic to the store throughout the year.
Right.
We'll have customers that we see at the farmer's market, and they'll say, oh, you have a storefront too? I didn't realize that. Oh,
Right.
you're just in Stewartson. It's only 20 minutes away or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they do come to us, which is nice. We are only open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays in our market and on the farm, because it is on our farm. When we originally started, it was open more days throughout the week. And we found that Thursday, Friday, Saturday just works for us. Previously, we were kind of getting a little burnt, not necessarily burnt out, but it was a struggle to try to grow our shipping.
Yes.
Plus also get ready for the farmer's market, plus also watch the market when we had customers, because we're not along a busy highway. We are 3/4 of a mile off of a busy highway. So people have to specifically come to us. And so our foot traffic isn't like people all the time,
Right.
like just constantly in and out. So there'd be some downtime of just hanging out in the market. And it's kind of hard to do a bunch of other back end work when you're trying to watch the market. So we were only open a few days. So it's actually worked out really good.
It has. So Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays we're busy.
We're busy
just
doing
on
other
the
things.
backside.
And if we have a customer that shows up at the farm, we open up for
I had
them.
2 today, and we're closed today, but it's right there at my house, so I just go on out.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of having a storefront on the farm is you kind of have to figure out that balance of being available, having your doors open, but also like knowing that you are a small business, not in the middle of, downtown, figuring out right balance. So have you had any customers that have come out to your store and have just been, like really enjoyed not only being able to buy meat, of course, but just being able to come visit the farm?
We've had several people like from suburbs like Chicago that have lake houses down here. They think it's just awesome that I can't believe that this is raised right here. And other people that are, we've had people that have become friends they aren't from the United States, but they're now citizens and they come and visit and they're just amazed. They bring their kids and we've got a lot of kids that enjoy it. And
I have 4 kids myself and my husband and I. And if our boys are out there helping on the farm, they'll say, and they see other kids come up, they'll be like, do you want to go see the cows? Do you want to go see the chickens? Do you want, like, they do a whole little farm tour of their own. So it's definitely a family affair for us. And our kids and her grandkids are just as proud of it as we are. So
yes,
that's cool. And I also think it's, refreshing how, consumers really do appreciate that. They want to see where their food is raised and they want to know more because, what's the statistic? I think most families are like 3 or 5 generations away from the farm. Don't quote me. It's something like that. And so it is really cool, consumers wanting to see that. And that's another, I think, cool part or element of a direct-to-consumer business is being able to share more of that with the consumer.
and that's what I tell people, because I said you'll usually always find a grandchild at the market, whether it be one of the Schultz ones or our daughters. I mean, we have 8 grandkids. Sometimes you'll see all 8. And there's always a grandchild around. And we love that, because in today's age, kids aren't learning to maybe always converse with others or how to do customer service, how to be, practice their manners. And all of our grandkids have done that.
My almost 10-year-old, he knows how to run our point of sale system. So you'll find him in the market trying to check people out, and they love it. They're like, "This is great. I love that he's helping."
Yeah, our customers do. They love seeing the kids there.
Yeah.
My dad actually had a beef business when I was a teenager in high school, and so I kind of remember the same thing being around. He had a brick and mortar, and we also would go to farmers markets. And I remember my dad had me trained up when consumers would ask questions about beef. I would tell them, "Oh, well, beef is good for you because of zinc, iron, and protein." And I was like 13 years old. And I to this day, I still use that experience that I had during that time frame. So I think it's so cool that you have your kids and grandkids get involved in that type of thing. Okay, so talk to me a little bit about shipping meat. I know a lot of our listeners probably, if they don't ship meat, they have thought about it, but there obviously are a lot of logistical challenges with it. You got to get your pricing right. You got to figure out how to ship economically. And as you said, you did a lot of research. And so talk to me a little bit about that and how the shipping is going. Do you see that becoming a bigger part of your business, or do you think that getting people to place pickup orders and coming out to the farm still being a majority of your customer base?
I foresee, and this is our hope, I mean, we want people to come to our farm, but we really would like to see our shipping grow. Just because we live in such a rural area that, your neighbor Johnny has a beef down the farm that you can split with your parents or whatever. But our shipping has taken off quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we've had return customers. We've shipped to both coasts and everywhere in between. And that's how I first found out about ChopLocal, was researching about resources. And I found ChopLocal's resources. I've used Five Mary's resources, 7 Farms, just a lot of different resources on how to ship frozen meat. And so, yeah, there are so many moving parts in shipping meat. It's not like you're just shipping a book that someone orders from Amazon. It's just a lot of moving parts. And we kind of journaled this, videoed it on TikTok, because we were like, oh, this is crazy, all these moving parts.
There is, and there's so many different options too.
A box, tapes.
Yeah, like what boxes you should get, what insulation you need for it
Dry
inside the
ice
box.
or ice packs.
And so that, like, I will say Nola was on it with that shipping. She made a spreadsheet.
I did.
She got and had all the different companies that we could use.
Yeah.
And with starting out small, like, we didn't want to have to buy an entire truckload of boxes and the liners, and we use ice blankets. We do not use a dry ice, because we did try that. Wasn't a fan, because the closest dry ice is an hour away from us.
Right.
Anyway, we didn't want to have an entire truckload of supplies, because that's a big chunk of money. And so storage. So our shipping cost of the boxes right now is a little higher than we would like it to be, but we had to start somewhere. So we invested in a little stash of supplies, and we're hoping that grows, that we do end up getting an entire truckload of boxes. And it's hard to find a company that's willing to only ship you a small supply too. So that was a learning curve as well. We're still learning.
We are.
We're only a few months in, and we're learning about the best things to ship. We have a lot of different cuts in our market. We sell pork, and pork has seasonings, and seasonings like to help the meat thaw out a lot faster, or makes the meat thaw out a lot faster, versus just a solid steak or a solid roast or something like that. So we've learned where to position those kind of in the box to help, hopefully.
She's very good at that. She's a box Houdini.
But we also have, and another thing is we've done too, is contact our customers. Whenever we've shipped something out, we're like, we'll either call them, a couple of them are personal customers that live, or like, not necessarily family friends, but friends of the family kind of thing, she'll message us and say, okay, this was a little bit thawed out on the edges, but this one was fine. And so we've kind of like taken note of those things to then create certain bundles that ship better than others.
Right.
So that has been helpful. And then just kind of like trying things, trial and error for us. If something goes wrong, obviously, if a package arrives to our customers completely thawed out, we're gonna, reimburse them, because that's the type of people that we are. And just being willing to try it and not be scared that it's not gonna work.
Yeah. Well, the fact that you ship from coast to coast tells me that you obviously are shipping meat very successfully. I feel like for everyone, they kind of just have to figure out what works for them. We also are a fan of the ice blankets, but there's just, like you said, so many different variables, like being able to source all of your supplies and be able to do it in an economic way, so you're not having to charge your customer more for shipping. And so I really applaud you guys on taking that risk, because it is kind of a risk. And like you said, I think there is a really cool and, good reward for shipping meat. And I think, Katie and I work with a lot of direct-to-consumer businesses, and we find that when vendors start shipping meat, they usually are able, that's kind of the route how you can expand your meat business. 'Cause like you said, a lot of folks selling meat are in rural areas. And so, at some point you're going to kind of tap out of that local community, and shipping is the next step. So that's really exciting for you guys.
It's been fun. I love to ship out packages. It's fun to pack them and ship them and kind of wait to see what the customers think.
Yes.
I love that part of it. That's fun for me.
Well, very cool. So you mentioned TikTok, I think, in part of your shipping journey. And so I really want to kind of pick your brains about that. You guys have almost 50,000 followers on TikTok, right? So Tell me, what's the secret?
We have a friend that lives here in our town. He is an influencer, and he just had a little event, and he's like, I think you guys need to do a giveaway. And so that was 3 years ago.
No, we did it in like November, December of last year.
Well, no, but I mean 2 years ago with the first one.
the
when we
first
did-
event?
Yeah, we were.
This
when
is
we
the
were
third
still-
year we've done it.
Yes, and we were just doing the trialing of the shipping, and so we had shipped somewhere close. We were like, we want to figure out how to ship, and so we shipped to Massachusetts.
Yeah, we did a giveaway.
Yes,
Okay,
giveaway.
Yeah.
Yep, there
So
you go.
it's okay. I was like, you have to tell them we did
I know.
a giveaway. We did a giveaway on TikTok, and so we essentially had the customer or had the followers, the people that saw the video, repost all the things. So repost the video, like, comment where they're from, and share. I think repost.
Yeah.
So we had them do all of those things in the video, and if they did all the things, then we would choose somebody to ship. We actually chose 2 people to ship. And so we gained like following overnight with that
Yes.
video. Obviously we're giving something away, but it was also helpful for us because we're like, okay, let's try to ship to Massachusetts. If we're out, $50 worth of meat or whatever it is, we're out $50. That's advertising for us. So we ended up doing that, and
Yeah.
we shipped to Massachusetts, and then we wanted to ship to Illinois,
so-
like Southern Illinois or Northern Illinois,
Yeah.
but we had a Southern Illinois customer
Yeah.
that we shipped to, just to see like what the difference, like 2nd-day air and 2-day ground, what that would look like. And
So
That's where we
between the
started.
giveaway and our friend who is a big influencer on TikTok, that helped us grow. But we have taken it now. We've kind of taken the ball rolling where we're very intentional.
we're
be.
trying to be intentional. We actually did the class that with Sarah,
ChopLocal.
and she is helping us like get our
Yes.
messaging down to be very intentional, and we're trying to be more intentional with our social media because I don't know about you and probably everybody else, but you feel like you're like a hamster on a wheel and can't ever get off because you feel like you have to make content all the time.
And what to make.
And what to make. And like you're just like your brain just can't handle it anymore. So we are trying to get to the point of just being intentional and having a game plan of like, this is when we put like this day we post this and this day we post that, and making, trying to just be intentional about it is huge. And we've kind of started doing that on our own before the class, but also just getting ready to just
Really going with the
our
momentum
messaging.
now.
Yeah.
So just consistency has been the biggest thing with TikTok.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there on that one. Okay, so I totally want to get into kind of what your current strategy is, but just to back up for a second, I might have missed this part, but talk to me a little bit about like the influencer. Did the influencer like create a video about your meat? How did that specifically look like?
He has a huge following, and so he had an event, and we cooked our meat.
So
And we sold hamburgers and pork burgers.
On the farm.
On
Yeah.
the farm. And we had, I don't know, probably 200 and some people the first year, and then it got a little bit bigger. This year we've had,
this year was probably close to 1,000
Yeah.
people on our farm.
On our farm.
Which is crazy. But yeah,
And
so
so
we've done these little
influencers-
events with him. It wasn't like people that were his followers didn't know who we were, because he would do videos about like, oh, the Schultz's bacon is delicious, or making brisket burgers from the Schultz's tonight.
Yeah.
And then we would have people that would pick up and follow us. He's also a good family friend of
Yeah.
ours. And
Wow.
so he would just kind of here and there just mention us.
Right.
But then whenever we really were ready to do the whole shipping thing, then we did that video. And that's when I think that the following really
Right.
picked up for us. Or I know it did, because we
Right.
watched it overnight, just like, oh my gosh, now we have this many
Yeah.
followers and this yet. Like it kind of makes you a little nervous, like to see that
Yeah.
that many people are seeing your face. But yeah, and then doing that giveaway. And then we've also done a second one when we actually
Holiday box,
We
wasn't
did a holiday box that we shipped out to another customer
I
that
can't remember that one was, but yeah. So we had another giveaway where we did that.
And honestly, it wasn't like we were giving away $1,000 or anything. We were literally just shipping a box of meat to help us learn how to do it, but also to help us, or just to get our name out there as
Yeah.
well. So
Do you feel like you got a lot of response from your giveaway? Like, I'm guessing you said you did get a lot of response. So, do you think that was because of the influencer, or do you think like you did it at the right time?
I think it was due to the influencer, but I also think it was free meat.
And that's kind of how we
free.
started the video.
Yeah.
We just said, stay or watch this video to see how to win
Free meat.
Free meat is what we did.
Our free
And
farm-raised meat.
We still have people comment on that
We
video.
do,
And
yeah.
it was back from like November, December. I can't remember. I think it was,
Of 2 years ago, I believe.
no, the video that we did for the giveaway was in 25.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like we've slept since then,
Slept
obviously.
a lot. But yeah, I think it's a combination, and we've just kept the ball rolling, with our own, we've gone back and forth. I mean, obviously they're my grandkids, but they're Austin and Michaela's kids. I said, do we put them on? Do we not put them on? But we are a family farm, and they are such an integral part of the farm that we want people to know who we are, what we stand for, we want them to trust us. We want them to get to know us.
And kind of back to like when she was talking about like having the event with that influencer. He does this once a year, and we're one of the stops for the event. And so just being willing to be like, okay, yeah, like that seems like a lot, but let's do that, because those are customers that are coming from essentially kind of all over, not
All over
most
the
of the
United
Midwest, but like there's people that fly in for this event that comes
Yeah.
to this our little rural area. So
Right.
saying yes to those opportunities, and like for us, saying yes to the opportunity was huge for us, because not only are those customers that have came to the market and tried our burgers and got our snack sticks and got meat while they were here on our farm, but now we ship to some of them
Right.
because they don't live here. And so that was big, but also, they're kind of our biggest supporters too. I
Right.
feel like they've,
Farmers, and they support farmers.
they were farmers, maybe not necessarily livestock farmers, but grain farmers or whatever. And so they'll occasionally buy and we'll ship to them.
Right.
So, and they usually come every year that they have
Yeah.
an event. So that was big for us. And I think
Right.
that's where it kind of stemmed from, is that support and that following from him a little bit, but also we put in the effort as well.
Yes.
Yes, you definitely have. No, that sounds like a really cool opportunity that you guys very wisely jumped on. But like you said, I have looked at your social media and you guys clearly have been putting in the work. And so I kind of want to ask, a lot of your social media content is video form. And to your point, I think that really helps your customers or your audience trust you. But what I want to ask is, does putting yourself out there on camera, does that come naturally to you? Or is that something that you were kind of hesitant about at first and you kind of had to push yourself towards?
We started out doing Facebook Lives.
Yeah. So when we first opened, all we had was a Facebook and Instagram, and we connected our Facebook and Instagram. So minus the live videos on Facebook, everything that we posted on Facebook automatically went to Instagram, because that's just how we have it set up. And I told Nola, I said, I think we need to do lives. I said, we need to like be in front of this camera and we need to do lives. And I'll be honest, Nola is better at doing them than I am.
I'm a
But
teacher, though.
She's a teacher. She's got that voice for the teacher voice. But I said, I think we need to do live videos and we need to just show people what we have, because how are they supposed to know what we have if we don't show them? And like just showing them a 3 little second part of a reel is okay, but if you're just talking about your product and just being natural and showing them around, and that's what she's
Right.
really good about. When she's in there, she'll be like, okay, this is a great thing for this, or this cut is great for this.
Right.
And I do the same, but I think that's where it started, and that's where the practice came in for
Yes.
us with doing videos. But to be honest, like, it's kind of a fly by the seat of our
It is.
pants kind of thing. We're not
trying to be
professionals.
more intentional,
We're trying to
but-
be more intentional, and Nola is really good about putting things. And also, it was kind of like one of those things where we're different generations. She's an older generation than me, obviously. I'm in my 30s, she's in her 50s, and we see things and do things differently.
Yes.
And it was kind of one of those things where I was like, okay, I can't keep up with the social media all by myself. And I couldn't. Like, I have 4 kids. I'm trying to do all the different things, and I just couldn't do it myself. And not that she wasn't helping at the time, but I finally was like, okay, here's how it is. I'm going to show you how to do it a few more times, and it's a sink or swim kind of thing, and you just do it. Just figure it out. If we have some really bad videos, we have bad videos. Who cares? They're only going to see it a couple times, and then it's going to be fine.
And
I'm a perfectionist.
I was just going to say our
I'm a
generations are
perfectionist.
different, but yeah, she's a perfectionist.
I want
I'm
to
like,
make
"Eh."
it perfect, and she's really good about being like, all right, it's good enough for me. I'm just gonna post it because who cares? Maybe nobody's gonna see it. Some of the best videos that we've had and done are the ones that have done the best are the ones that we literally have put no effort into,
Yeah.
compared to the ones that maybe we have sat and done, an hour or whatever.
Right.
So I think that I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to anything that we've ever really done besides us trying to get our messaging narrowed down. But I guess just doing it. And I need to take my own advice on that, because sometimes I need to just do the video and not try to perfect every little part of it, because honestly, nobody's going to know that this was in the video. They may comment on some random thing in the video, and that gets you more comments or more views because you got the comments.
I think I totally agree with everything you said. And I think a lot of our audience do need to hear that, is that your content doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to post. You've got to put yourself out there. And I think it's really cool how much you two push yourself out there. I didn't know that you guys were doing those Facebook Lives. And I think that is a really cool tip that maybe someone in our audience can try doing to get more traction on social media. But yeah, no, all of that is really cool. Do you guys still do Facebook Lives?
I just did one yesterday, and then every time we're open, we have a
One of us do
Facebook
it.
Live.
And at the farmer's market too. Like we'll just turn the camera around and say, hey, we're at the farmer's market today. Come and see us.
It's like we're
stop by
a
the
farm
trailer.
reporter,
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what it feels like.
a journalist.
But yeah, we do them. I mean, and it's just like a couple minutes. It's not that we stay on them for, I know some people stay on them for like 20 minutes. We're like 5 minutes tops usually.
Yeah.
Just telling people what our bundle is for the week and just talking about what's in the market.
Right.
Sometimes we'll have fresh produce in there, because we don't just have meat in our market. We have other little items. And we have some other small businesses that put little crafts in there and stuff. But yeah, so we just talk about what's in there.
Yeah.
Just on the whim. Sometimes you'll have a child in there trying to explain what's happening.
Or help.
With the video, whatever they want to do. But yeah, that's kind of where we started. And I feel like our Facebook is more of our local customers as well. And so that was kind of, I don't know, it made me feel a little bit better, because I'm like, okay, the people that are watching are our neighbors or friends and whatnot. We've grown our Facebook obviously past that, but, and we're still trying to grow that. But yeah, that's kind of made me feel a little bit more comfortable when we were doing those live videos.
And it's so funny because you go places. I went to Decatur to the Farm Progress show. Hey, you're the lady on Facebook with the meat, right? Yes, I am. I was like, that's a little weird. And I go to Walmart or wherever, to get my other groceries. Say, oh, you're the Facebook lady.
It's her white hair.
It's my white hair.
That's such a cool compliment, and it's such a testimony that your marketing is working and your social media strategy is not only effective, but you're memorable. And I think that's really important. And I think, some people kind of struggle with that, but it sounds like for you guys, it was just a matter of just showing up and putting yourself out there and trying the lives, doing the reels. And I mean, it's crazy how some consistency can go such a long ways.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
So you're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, right? What would you say is your favorite platform?
I enjoy TikTok a lot.
I will be honest. We had a market TikTok page before I had my own personal TikTok page. So I didn't know much about it. It was one of those things that somebody was like, you guys need to get, I think it was that influencer was like, you need to have TikTok. And we're like, okay, fine, we'll get on TikTok.
I just kind of jumped in it.
Yeah, I do like the TikTok part of it. No, like I said, Nola is better at that than I am. But it was kind of like we just had to figure it out, and we figured it out as we've gone along.
Right.
I think that I don't know, we have a lot of I would say Facebook is our local followers, our like local brick and mortar come to the store followers,
and the farmers market.
I do
enjoy that aspect of Facebook, because I feel like we're. We don't ever want our local customer base to think that, oh, well, they're shipping now. They're getting bigger, blah, blah, blah. We don't want that. We still want our local customers to know that they are welcome.
And they're
anytime.
getting local beef and pork. Like that was the reason why we opened in the beginning. But then we've just seen we had, especially with having those different events, we had people like ask if we would ship to them, and they were like, "Oh, we don't know if we can ship." And so we just thought, you know what? If people are asking if we would ship, and if people are asking on social media, on TikTok, if we're shipping, then we need to figure it out and we need to do it. Even if we're shipping out a couple packages a week, that's still a sale that we wouldn't have made in the market. So just taking those baby steps and getting there, but growing the shipping, I think, is where we're at with our business, and trying to put a lot of focus on that, and then also on our social media with that as well.
I'll be honest, I'm not very good with Instagram at all.
Instagram is only staying alive because of being hooked up to Facebook and posting what we post on Facebook onto Instagram. Our following's not very big there. I don't know a whole lot about it, to be honest, and
how to get it to grow, but
we just kind of wing it, to be honest, with that. And so, and if we grab another follower along the way as we're winging it, then that's where we're at with it. So
we would love to see it grow.
Yeah, we'll get there. Can only do one thing at a time. I feel like you can't try to grow all three of them at once, otherwise you're going to go crazy.
That is so true. I think sometimes people come to us and they ask, like, what platform should we be on? And I usually say, like, let's focus on being good on one platform, and then maybe we can second or third. But I thought it was really interesting what you said about Instagram. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, but Instagram also, I've just been so disappointed in the past few years. I feel like the algorithm just doesn't push content as well as it does on TikTok or even Facebook. And I don't know, Instagram is also just interesting to me. It used to be my favorite platform, but I don't really think it's the place to grow anymore. I think it really is TikTok, or like you said, if you're looking for like more of a local audience, or maybe like a slightly middle-aged to older demographic, it's Facebook, which I never thought I would say that a few years ago. But I mean, I talk to my other friends in social media, and Instagram's just kind of a weird one lately.
But again, we're different generations, and I love TikTok, and I'm the older generation.
And I think we're catching both with TikTok.
I think we are. When you look at the analytics on TikTok,
we're catching that empty nester, but we're still catching that busy mom who's my age, who's got the kids and then thick of like making meals every night. That's we're still catching both. And I don't know, like when you were talking about Instagram, and maybe it's just like the perfectionist in me, is sometimes I'm like, okay, I don't think our videos are perfect enough for Instagram. You know what I mean? That's where I come. That's something that I think about often, is just because the aesthetically pleasing look of Instagram, that when you pop things open, that's, I don't know. I just feel like that's where we do have really great videos. I'm not saying that we don't like put a lot of effort into different things, but we're showing our farm, and sometimes the farms are not aesthetically pleasing unless you are making it look that way or making it a fairy tale.
I think TikTok just maybe appreciates more of that lifestyle content, where like I think I agree with you. Instagram just is a little bit more like needs to be aesthetically pleasing and polished, and TikTok is more of just that less, it rewards more of that less polished lifestyle, conversational type of.
Yeah, which is nice. And another thing that I do like about TikTok is like on the back end of it, and you post a video, you can instantly see how many people have watched your video. And I love that about it. Yes. It's kind of it's instant gratification for you. And so it kind of keeps you going. You're like, oh my gosh, that video got this many views. And you can see that instantly. Not that you can't do that on Facebook or Instagram, but you kind of have to go on the back end a little farther. Whereas where on TikTok, it's right in your face. And I think that sometimes is also a motivator for you as well.
And I know nothing about like the whole algorithms and all that. I can barely say it and spell it. But the thing is, we've got the followers. Now I want to figure out how to convert those to sales. I mean, that's the part that is really intriguing to me now.
Yes.
I just like, okay, we got 5,000 views on that. Wow. Let's get at least, 10% of that into sales.
Yeah. And I feel like that's where kind of Sarah's
coming in.
That's where she's coming in and helping us. But yeah, that's a part that we're still figuring out.
That's where we're at now on our social media.
So that was actually my next question, which is, what platform do you think gets you the most sales? And I know that it's kind of hard to track that or measure that, but Have you ever like created a TikTok video about a bundle and then someone places an order and they say like, "Oh, like we saw this bundle on TikTok and we decided to buy it." Like, have you seen that kind of connection?
Yes.
Yes.
And I would say that our shipping is from TikTok.
Yes, our shipping's from TikTok.
Yeah.
Facebook, definitely the farmer's market and the local.
Yep.
Sure. Well, I think that is so cool that you have those two platforms nailed down to this platform works for our business in this way, and this platform is working for our business in this way. And we're going to curate content for our local customers on Facebook, and then on TikTok, we're going to be pushing shipping and we're going to be pushing new products. That is really, really cool. I mean, honestly, you guys should pat yourselves on the back. I mean, that is super impressive for a small business. You guys are killing it. Can you talk to us a little bit? I know we don't have a ton of time left, but about coming up with ideas for creating content. I know you talk a lot about like your products and stuff. I feel like I've seen a few TikToks where you do like a trend. Like, how do you come up with ideas?
Well, when we first started, we were jumping on every trend.
Yeah.
We were dancing. We were lip syncing.
Because we're just trying to figure it out. We're
doing
like,
it all.
how do we do this thing?
Now we are really trying to be more intentional and talking to the customer about the customer.
Yeah.
You know, we learned that with the story brand, that customer has to come first. They don't care that, you know, my husband and I have been farming for over 30 years. They don't really care about that. So, yeah.
It's all about how we can help them. How can we provide something that is going to make their life easier, or like how they can be the hero.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And, you know, before we come up with an idea now, it's like, okay, how is this going to make them want to interact with us and buy from us?
Because also your interactions on your videos are the ones that drive those videos up higher to get more views. If you don't have anybody commenting on your videos, I mean, the people that saw it, but nobody else is going to see it.
Right.
So you've got to get something in there that is going to hook your customer to want to either buy from you, but also comment, because that's also helping maybe somebody else see it.
Right. So that's really where we're at now with our social media.
And
is trying
interacting too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trying to figure out the logistics of that. So,
I agree. I sometimes struggle with trying to get people to comment on my content. And sometimes I'll throw in a call to action like comment your favorite recipe using ground beef. And you know, sometimes you get some to bite and sometimes you don't. So, I mean, do you guys have anything that have worked to try to get people specifically to comment more?
I'll be honest, I haven't been on our social media a whole lot lately because I just have been busy with life. And Nola's kind of taken the reins of that a little bit, because we also kind of shifted our website around a little
Right.
bit. So I was pretty busy
last
with that.
week I did like kind of a series, if you will, on our weekly bundle, and I cooked each piece of the bundle, and I got quite a few
Yeah,
comments
there
on
was.
that.
Yeah.
You know, and they would save it or whatever. So I felt good about that because that was the first time I've ever done like 4 or 5 days in a row, and that was a lot of cooking. I did not cook last weekend at all then after that, because it's just my husband and I. I'm like, whew. So yeah, I want to try to be more intentional because I think people want to see that. You know, they get a pork tenderloin. What do I do with a pork tenderloin or a roast? So many people don't know how to cook a roast properly, or just to make it tender, you know? So I would like to try to hone in on that and see if maybe that helps some. But yeah, just any way that we can help the customer. That's what I want to do, so they can see that, you know what, yeah, I really do want to buy from those ladies and their farm.
And then also, I think just sticking with, like, even throwing in those fun videos that we do every
Right.
now and again. We haven't done those in a while.
No.
We get, you just like,
We're
just
just-
for fun. And just also show people that you're not just this robot trying to sell
Right.
something all the time, that you are a real person and that you are fun and you're, you know, not that you have to be entertaining. I'm not saying that, but just people
But that's
wanna-
really how we are.
But that's
though. I
how
mean,
we are. You know, people come into the market and we talk to them like we've been friends forever, because that's just the type of people that we are.
Yeah.
We live in a small town, and you come to the market
You
into
might
our
find us having a dance party with the kids.
Yeah, who knows? But that's just, and I think that people need to know that, versus you just, obviously if you're not a dancer, you know, we're not wild and crazy, but I'm just saying, like, you just need to be real,
Yourself.
yourself and real. And I'm saying that with a grain of salt because I do try to perfect everything. But yeah, I think also that being real and authentic is the ticket too. People don't, if they're going to buy from you, they're going to want to trust you in some way, shape, or form, or they're going to want to say, you know what, these girls look like they're fun, or this farm looks like they work really hard, and they look like they're great. They seem like they're great people. I'm going to buy from them. So,
so many people think that she's my actual daughter.
They do say that often.
Well, you guys do look similar.
No.
Really? No, but yeah, we get that a lot. Like, oh, you're the daughter. Nope, I'm the daughter-in-law, and that is okay. But yeah, and just kind of working together and dividing and conquering with the social media has been a really big help. And I also found that, and I know you've said this too before, of us being together in a video has also been that we get more views on those.
And with our husbands.
Our guys being in the videos occasionally, it's hard to get them.
Hard to do.
My husband is a little more.
He's getting better.
He's getting a little better, but showing a little bit more of the day to day, a little with everybody in some way, shape, or form, that also gets us a little more views instead of just our face in front of the camera.
Right.
But I don't know. It's a trial and error thing. Like,
it really is.
Who your customers are, who are the people that are following you, and kind of catering to what you notice. Like they like more. There's more views on is kind of where. We're not perfect at it. Sometimes we're just like, all right, we got a video up this week, or we got a video on today. Like, okay, we're good to go, because that's just how it goes. Life is busy, and you can't do everything perfect, and you can't do everything so. And even if you were to stick with a schedule and have everything just the way it needed to be, you still
break.
Yeah, they break, and you can't guarantee. Like, the algorithms are so funky that you just have to do it.
Exactly. I think you really nailed it on the head when you said that it's just really important to be authentic and yourself, because I think that's what people are searching on social media, is for authenticity. And so I think you guys do an excellent job of that. I really loved visiting with you guys today and hearing about all of your different thoughts and strategies, and just your journey over the past few years of specifically creating a really strong social media presence. You guys are doing a fantastic job. And I have even found some inspiration in looking at your social media on Schultz County Market. And so I think it's really cool to see this mother and daughter-in-law team as well. You guys both obviously have your own gifts and talents, and it's so cool to see like how powerful you guys are when you work together and you kind of like join your different unique talents. And so that's really cool to see. And is there anything else we missed, or anything else about social media that you'd like to share with our audience?
Just have fun.
Yeah, and you just have to kind of just do it. Just dive in, and then just kind of let it go. Yeah, ride the wave, and just, if you feel a little embarrassed, you just keep going. There's somebody worse off, I'm sure, on there. So you can just keep, just go.
Yeah.
And if it's going to make you have sales, that's the goal. So.
And just get your name out there, get your face out there, and just have fun, and just be consistent and keep working hard.
Exactly. I think that's what our audience, and I know that myself, needs to hear sometimes, is you have to have fun with it, and you can't be afraid to get embarrassed, because regardless, you're going to have some videos that do well and some videos that don't do well, and it happens to everyone. And the only way to keep getting better is just to keep doing it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, thank you guys again so much. Again, your social media is Schultz Country Market. If any of our audience wants to look at their social media to get some inspiration. And as our audience knows, you can find us on ChopLocal University on Facebook, Instagram, ChopLocalUniversity.com, and make sure to subscribe to our Meet Success podcast. So thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in to Meet Success. We hope this episode gave you fresh insights and inspiration to beef up your meat marketing. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, follow us on social, and share with your fellow farmers and butchers. Have questions or ideas for future podcasts? Reach out to ChopLocalUniversity.com. Until next time, remember, there's more than one recipe for meat success.